Alright, I haven't actually uploaded, like, a full Xeno video in a bit. And I know some people prefer the longer, more full-form videos, plus I pretty much always entirely skip build phase as a Xeno, mainly just because I think people find it somewhat uninteresting, but I also realize that, well, some people probably want to see the building. So, I'm gonna edit out the worst parts, but this is gonna be longer. Alright, so doing some movie magic. I am not entirely sure what these colors are for building. Normally purple is for hives, and like red is for like priority build, but I'm guessing green is priority build. Good old weeds. Good old weeds. It's so unbelievably hard to give commentary on build phase. I'm not even like that experienced of a Xeno, like nearing 125-ish hours, but build phase is just always the same thing. Like, the maps rarely play different. The only real difference is that sometimes you fight the survivors, but fighting the survivors is often suicide unless you have a team very dedicated to fighting survivors. Some of this stuff, entire boxes of ammo are probably worth melting. Don't really have the plasma to melt everything in here. Oh, I thought that was an extended rubber mag. I guess just to try to give commentary for brand new Xeno players. I can attempt to do that. Is usually I try to look for natural choke points like this, like two like more solid walls to put up a few doorways and stuff. The reason why I do this is sometimes survivors just get really aggressive out of nowhere and you might be alone. Like if I check my map right now, I'm actually practically like if a tall came from any direction over here, came east, there would only be like one door blocking me between them. And survivor weapons are insanely good, and they often don't have armor, so they're normally really fast. So they can just sprint straight through the weeds and catch you if you don't like frenzy bail out of there immediately. Um, Ask me how I know. I've died to survivors just randomly being aggressive. Technically, it's against the rules to attack as survivors before 5 minutes, but I've definitely seen survivors killing drones like on the other side of the map in the first 5 minutes. Either way, it's just like as a drone against a survivor in a 1v1, your odds are terrible. Most survivor weapons, if they have access, if they have the good ones, are just going to utterly obliterate you as outside of admin, so I should not really be here. So just for example, like if a tall comes up here, I would have nothing protecting me or any others Xeno. So if I just throw down some doors and a wall, that slows them. Also, building a more internal choke points like this means that if you aren't like for the fog, for example, the fog normally doesn't ever touch the insides of the buildings, but sometimes the fog on certain maps, like I don't know all these yet. So like, you see this window here, I am pretty confident that if I were to build a wall right here, it would get destroyed by the fog, so I'm not trying to waste time. Time's kind of precious, especially in build phase. And building definitely, as I mentioned, gets kind of repetitive, so if you can avoid doing the repetitious stuff, you should. For rooms like this is probably Xeno preference. They're dead end rooms pretty heavily, so I like to try to just open up the walls. Having slightly bad defenses as a Xeno is much better than a Xeno getting trapped and dying because they had nowhere to go. So like I try to open up these dead end rooms, even if it isn't the greatest thing to do defense-wise. Even just having a hole in the wall with no door in it is much better than being stuck here with no way out. Always keep in account where people are dying. So a mature drone just died in Northwest Colony grounds, which Northwest Colony is not necessarily like labeled as like a specific thing, but just try to like sometimes they'll just be like, oh, somebody died administration. That's very easy to find. Just keep an idea. Keep an eye on chat so you don't get blindsided. So like somebody is saying, especially if it's like an elder or higher, mentioning something is probably more useful information in general. So like they're saying that they're hunting a bit. So now I need to be a little cautious. Like I have fellow Xenos near me, so I don't need to be super scared. But like see like they are indeed attacking. Which as in the area I was pointing, Northwest Colony grounds, which is northwest of me. If you see low health Xenos coming towards you, assume that the Talls are, I mean, well, they're literally right over there. I'm going to see if I can provide some assistance, but dying right now would be really, really bad, because there's no burrowed. So if I'm dead, I'm out of the round, basically. Some of these fellow Xenos, like, are runners. I mean, that's Pro. Pro is by far an expert Xeno, so I am very trustworthy of them doing a good job as their runner in this position. But you see other Xenos going into things like Defenders because the survivors are starting to get aggressive, and drones are not amazing at not dying to the survivors, more so than not. I'm going to try to help build up towards them just to give us more cover and more places to fall back. This is where I'm not very good as a Xeno, is being a supportive builder. See, like, I'm kind of leaving the Defender here because I'm focusing on padding and keeping them alive. Again, I'm not an expert. This is where I really am not good at being a Xenomorph. Player is dealing with survivors. Survivors are often people with literally thousands of hours. They have superior equipment to Marines, which makes them utterly terrifying to actually fight. But I'm taking the time melting their weapons. I am helping build up. I have my pheromones active. I'm padding. In this situation, like, I know I'm being, like, somewhat hard on myself, but, like, I know I'm being, like, helpful. What would be unhelpful is if I had no pheromones, I wasn't padding. I'm not really helping them get the kills, but like, we got to be real careful here, because look how much health that drone just lost from a fire shotgun at that range. It takes a billion pats to actually put them out. Try to help. Trying to help put out the fire. This Defender. Oh, they just got sniped by a slug. That sucks. I'm trying my best here. This is much outside of my comfort range of trying to help here, but I'm just going to back off at this point. They're hiding behind their resin. I don't really want to die. We don't have a Defender. It's just a lurker. Normally when you hear resin sounds like that, breaking is a sign that there's a survivor or a Marine, depending on the time, slightly off screen. This is actually online, so I'm going to take the time to destroy it, just because that now requires somebody who has engineering training to actually have to come and fix it. This area is not often used by Marines. In terms of, like, actual combat, like, the area up north here kind of just leads to, like, a dead end where the Marines can't really get here, so they don't often come here and push upwards. I'm just saying that because that helps you keep in mind that, like, you're not wasting time building. Also, we are now approaching the 15-minute timer. The 15-minute timer is when tier 3s are available, and if you want to try to be a tier 3, you need to make sure that you're around full health. You can keep the de-evolution thing on your screen. That does help you save an extra second. But also, yes, if you're not full health, you can't evolve immediately, which can, you know, screw over your chances of being a tier 3 just because you got hurt a little bit. So back off from fighting if you're doing fighting. Make sure you heal if you did fighting recently, just so you can become that tier 3. If you have a timer open or just have the round timer open, yes, I know this is, like, overly competitive, but you can literally just hover your mouse over this. As soon as that message appears, I have my bind set up so I can immediately de-evolve. Then I have all my evolve buttons set to 9, so I can evolve that way. And then I press 9 again, press Ravager. Obviously, it would be whatever tier 3 you picked. And I got tier 3 because I had that menu open. I built the whole time. I was just ready to de-evolve. If you're, like, really new, I would not play a tier 3. Being a tier 3 is really stressful. You're, like, the primary target of Marines. You have a lot of responsibility. Your death has the biggest impact. All that good stuff. You can see that the Talls and the survivors are held up here at the top of Garage. So you can see all these red symbols are tier 3s, people going to fight them. Like, as a tier 3 now that, like, I am a tier 3, I'm a big threat to the survivors. I am tanky. I can get in there and just kind of deal a lot of punishment. But I don't want to block anyone, and I'm also trying to make sure I can pat. These survivors are obviously rather skilled in the way they're playing. They're not taking a whole lot of risks. just watching my health here. More aggressive Xeno players will let their health get a lot lower than this. But since I'm a Hedgehog, I can kind of risk it with my shield. Generally, you want to try to attack the same barricade that other people are attacking to get through quicker. So now we have a breach here. We have a breach up here. The survivors are crumbling. They're dealing with many tier 3s. I'm still burning, and I'm not on weed, so I can't exactly heal. Oh, well, we can't really capture that one. That one's kind of dead. Well, they're all dead. And I didn't really do all that much other than take some damage and break a barricade. But I was late. I was off building in the areas. So now, we just wait for the Marines to show up. You can go around, just preemptively wait for them. Going around breaking lights never hurt. Depending on the Xeno you are, you can break through walls, you can break windows, things that didn't get melted you could break. Like, I mean, breaking this wooden barricade doesn't do anything, but you kind of get the point. Like, if there's any barricades left behind from the map, you break those. Like, I could break this because this is going to block somebody. I can make an extra rotation through here because this is just going to block somebody. Not all Xenos have the ability to break things like window frames, but if you have that ability, it gives you something to do while you're just kind of waiting for the fighting. Okay, so skipping ahead. The Talls, the Marines took quite a while to actually arrive, so I just kind of went around breaking APCs and stuff. Anyways, now that the Marines are here, that means you'll know the Marines have landed when you see the fog physically pop up, the weed killer, or people in chat mention it. So I'm now trying to get back to the front to be helpful. I usually try to pick a hive leader that is of my caste, because the more experienced somebody is, the higher rank they are. So for example, this person's ancient, which means they have like, what, it's like 75 hours minimum on Ravager alone. So by going to more experienced Xenos, I'm more likely to be in the right place, in a more useful place, and hopefully extend my lifetime as well. I need the Marines to push in towards me. I am a Hedgehog, so I am somewhat tanky, but I'm not invincible. And in the beginning of rounds, Marines have full supplies. They have all their AP ammo. They are ready to get picks. They're looking for picks. They're going to throw a billion flares. They're going to try to get orbital strike coordinates. So being patient and letting Marines kind of burn through their supplies early is always really beneficial. If you ever see these green flares, do not get anywhere near them unless you're somebody like a Ravager. Ravagers have 100 explosive resistance and can't take damage from fires, most fires. So I don't have to heed that rule nearly as much, but anyone else definitely should. Going over here to try to pat the on fire Ravager, or Lurker. I am a Ravager. So like this spitter getting that close to that stick, very dangerous. They're probably melting it, but even that, there's a risk to that. Spitters have like 0 explosive armor, so if you get hit by a missile, it is over for them. I'm struggling. This happens every time. Marines, if they aren't pushing super hard, makes it kind of difficult to find an angle for a Xeno like me that needs to... I could tank a few of them, but I can't tank a lot of them, so I can't just run in the open. But I also, for example, like, I'm not doing anything right now. I don't even think I've been seen by a Marine. So, like, I'm kind of just... I feel like I'm just kind of out of position, but that's also because the reality is there's not a whole lot for me to be doing right now if they're not pushing. Right now, what we're doing as a Xeno team, you start categorizing what type of specials they have as weapon specialists. So a Sadar is a tuber. That is a #1 threat to me personally, because I can get hit by one rocket and I'm stunned and will die. I see Marines starting to get a little aggressive to the top. I can throw shards at them to try to slow them down. I got unlucky and every one of those missed. But now there's a heavy spitter, so the fun's over. Thankfully, I was not overly aggressive. We saw the sniper shoot me with an incendiary round, but shooting a Hedgehog with a fire bullet does practically nothing. Yeah, it stops me from healing on weeds, but it doesn't stop me from using my abilities. It doesn't even stop me from getting shards. So, that sniper... Oh, I thought that was the rocket launcher. So, they have this area pretty heavily locked down. They're starting to open up some more of the walls, which means hopefully they should start pushing into more of our home territory here. You kind of see the other Xenos are just being patient. The only thing I gain for being aggressive is I might waste like 4 of their metal. What they gain from me being aggressive is I might slip up and run into a Sadar, or I might just get DPS down by an M2C. So there's nothing really I can gain from being overly aggressive right now. Like, obviously that lurker there just hit the person who was touching the resin. They're twice as fast as me and have more direct damaging abilities. So they're able to get in and out a lot faster than me. But if I were to go out right now, for example, and go south, well, that group to the north just saw me, so you see the repositioning. So if I would have went to that barricade, good chance I could have died right there. So my priorities now have just shifted from just trying to look to slow them down and look for lone Marines to the Queen's getting up, so I need to do my best to support the Queen, to A, protect them, and B, look for anyone they stun and try to drag them. Honestly, this whole time, I've kind of just been walking around, not really doing much, because the Marines just really aren't pushing all that hard. They haven't really even gone through more than half of admin yet, so it's kind of difficult to really do anything. Plus, I know they have a Sadar on this part, so every time I do try to push up, I'm not getting anything done. Sniper back over here, because we could tell from the long-range fire bullets. Again, if they hit me, no problem, but if they hit anyone else, not good for them. So the Queen's here, and they are down somewhere over by storage, so I'm going to try to make my way to them. It's better that, even if if my only purpose is to literally take a rocket for them, that's better. I probably should have rotated quicker, but I didn't realize that they were going to storage. They didn't say where they were getting up to. They said that they were getting up. So that's my bad. See, if I was a little bit quicker, I could have supported this scream more, but I'm unfortunately not the greatest player and was not in position, but I can at least help tackle this person down. The Lesser's taking them, which is a little scary. Try to save the people who are on fire, pat them. Queen's not going to have Scream yet. They're also not using their stunning spit, so it's going to make it a little bit harder. Try not to die to the heavy machine gun. Just had to panic, use my shield. Try to do some damage to the rocket launcher. I don't know. I didn't even quite see what they hit. I was paying attention to them the whole time, just waiting for them to shoot. Try to tank bullets for the squishier people trying to stay in front. Also, my number one priority usually is to try to pat people if I can't go out and catch anyone. Fire sniper, again, shooting me. I'm just assuming the reason why the sniper shooting me is because they don't really realize that shooting a hedgehog with fire bullets is practically just a waste of a bullet. But we're doing a lot of rotations right now. We're kind of trapping them in between. Got a nice tackle off there. I'm holding off the east, looking for Marines, but this guy was pretty alone. Just got eaten by a lurker, so that person's practically doomed. Lurkers are so fast. Sticking with the Queen. See, what scares me here is I'm the only tier 3 with the Queen now. So, if the Queen's trying to push something like this, the only reason the Queen just lived is because the rocket launcher just missed. I'm literally just body blocking for the Queen. But if that Sadar was a little more accurate, we would have lost the Queen right then and there. That was very open. There was no one there other than me, really, to support. Wait for the scream. Queen heavily overextended. I'm dead for it, too. Well, and that's the life of supporting a Queen sometimes. The Queen, super overextended, basically pushed into their barricades. I mean, you can see the heavy machine gun still deployed. When a scream like that is in such an open area, and you're 30 tiles away from resin, anyone who's outside the scream that isn't brand new as a Marine is going to shake the people that were on the outer edges, and then they're just going to wake up and shoot you. So you go from 10 people shooting you to 20 within 3 seconds, and there's nothing you could do once you're in that situation. Really, I guess what should have happened is we just never should have pushed that, but that's just kind of how it goes. I really can't, unfortunately, give you more gameplay than that, because I'm dead, and we have, like, 0 captures, so I'm not going to be able to rejoin the round. We had no burrowed. So, yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. I did practically nothing as a tier 3, but it's real RMC gameplay.